Welcome back, everybody. It's good to be back. I took a hiatus there and needed to work through some writer's block, so thanks for sticking with me. Welcome also to my new subscribers. Remember, when we finally hit 100 subscribers, I have a special treat for everybody. Thanksgiving is over, and I wasn't in the mood to do a give thanks video. Some of you may have seen my gratitude video, and if you didn't get to go around the Thanksgiving table to say what you're thankful for, try that video out. It works for every day other than Thanksgiving too. In the spirit of the coming December holidays, I want to do something positive to go with that spirit. Today we'll be talking about the strengths focus in therapy. When I began working in community mental health back in 2011, this model was introduced to me based on research that showed benefit to our clients. I'm confident it will help you too. The research showed that when we focus on our strengths, instead of a pure focus on mental health disorders such as bipolar, schizophrenia, depression, or anxiety, we can apply these strengths both toward better mental health and happiness, even dissolve our shame. Additionally, if you struggle with self-esteem and our assertiveness and codependency, a strengths focus can be very beneficial. Strengths focus is still at the forefront of many effective practices in mental health and addictions today. My practice is strengths focused. Strengths focus is a highlight for relationships, communication, performance, and well-being. It can and does address and develop better self-esteem. By the end of this video, you'll have some clear-cut examples of strengths in practice, as well as an exercise you can do to find your strengths. Some strengths aren't always easy to find, and you may even find some that you didn't know you have. All of them are powerful allies in your journey with positive changes in mental health. Let's get started. Looking at some examples first. I knew of a client who suffered from schizophrenia. It happened fast to her and struck her in her early 20s after she finished her degree in art. She was quite talented and had published artwork as a part of her day job. As the illness set in, she lost the ability to create art that would provide her with a consistent commercial art salary. With early intervention, she was able to get help, medication, and services to help her cope with her diagnosis and the debilitation it caused. She was willing to work with a team that helped her with dealing with her auditory hallucinations, delusions, and the impact this had on her, both socially and otherwise, in large part due to a focus on strengths in recovery. In time, she was able to go back to work part-time in a high-profile customer service position. She also was able to drive, had an education, and was supported by her family. Though these circumstances aren't often the case with many that have schizophrenia, having the disorder doesn't mean that everyone is the same or they cannot pursue their interests, careers, a social life, or hobbies. With a strengths focus, she was able to work, have friends, manage her illness to the best of her ability, as well as resume her art. Strengths her team focused on included her intelligence, history of success, sense of humor, playfulness, honesty, and commitment. She resumed her art with help from a local art program and even took part in her own gallery showing. Sometimes she was able to sell paintings, which helped her with her income and freedom. Side note here. Often when someone's diagnosed with a mental health disorder, physical disability, or is experiencing difficulty with various areas of their life, people can and do tend to focus on what they can't do. This is where shame comes in. There can be factual things that prevent us from doing any number of things. However, a strengths focus counters a problem or disability focus because we look at overall strengths, not just physical or mental ability. A diagnosis may make us feel like we can no longer function as we used to, and we might be ashamed of that. However, with a strengths focus, we find that we have plenty to offer ourselves and the world. I also have multiple general examples I can share that come from substance recovery. Many people in recovery have difficulty finding jobs once they get clean because of their criminal records. Though this is a social issue that still needs a major overhaul in our society today, There are some ways around the hopelessness of feeling like we'll never be able to find satisfying work if we focus on our strengths. Keep in mind that people who have issues with substances, they're not bad people. They may have, in the course of their illness, made poor decisions based on the lack of judgment that anyone can suffer from when using. Their consequences are often severe. However, once someone's motivated to overcome this and seek help, they often work harder in sober life than they did at the work they performed in order to continue using. There's an old saying which is, nobody works harder than an addict. We'll change that last negative word there to substance user, with the understanding that many creative problem-solving skills come into play when you have an expensive habit to support. Therefore, once someone is sober, these creative problem-solving skills are still there. Doing things ethically and legally now may seem impossible, but the same strengths apply. Additionally, not everyone with a substance problem has a record. For those that do, I focus on what strengths they have in order to help them problem solve. I've had hundreds of clients who, once convicted, thought even if they were sober, they'd never get to live the kind of life they wanted. Through working with me and other professionals with a strengths focus, they were able to become successful musicians, tattoo artists, business owners, counselors, and a whole slew of other jobs that helped them earn and improve their quality of life. Some of them found jobs when they became sober that they never knew would give them a quality of life to thrive and enjoy themselves. The strengths focus is a great tool because it pulls the best from us. My clients are intelligent, gifted, connected, and determined. These strengths, with a little ingenuity, also come to bear on turning things around for them. We just have to focus on what's good and think outside the box. We can all become better at using this skill, which becomes a strength on its own. So there are more than a few examples. Let's roll on to an exercise. Remember when I said strengths go beyond physical and mental ability? Let's look at some strengths and try to find some of our own. We are far more resilient than we think. When things are bad or we're faced with various challenges, returning to our strengths can build us back up and give us energy. Some of the strengths we possess may be visible to others, and some may not. The important thing is that periodically we take stock of them. My basic strengths exercise requires pen and paper. Go ahead and get those out now. I recommend a full page rather than a small notebook. Pause the video if you need to go grab them. Alright, first, list 3 positive things that others say you're good at. Now list 3 things you think you are good at. Are they the same things, or are they different? Next, I'd like you to write down 3 things you like about yourself. Pause the video if you need to, and come back as needed. Then, what do others like about you? If your best friend was here, what would they say? How about someone else close to you, or someone you look up to? Finally, I'd like you to write down 3 things you've accomplished in your life that you're proud of. Got it? Awesome. If you struggle with any of these, don't worry. Take whatever time you need. The point is just to get the ideas flowing. If you need help with this, ask a friend or leave a comment down below and we can brainstorm together. Some of my past clients told me they really struggled with this. It's understandable. We're not always going to be able to see our strengths, so the exercise is there to help you realize them. How did this exercise impact how you feel about yourself or your problems? Research has shown that recovery, self-esteem, and overall well-being are all improved with a strengths focus. Now you can see its benefit too. Let's wrap this video up. Everyone has strengths. When we're down or unsuccessful, it can be easy to forget them or even think of them sometimes. Our strengths can evolve and change. Someone else may see a strength we didn't know we had. Here's a strength: asking for help. Did you include that one? We're strong, even when we feel weak, if we can ask for help. Add that one to your list. It's okay to pat yourself on the back. Speaking of which, I'm glad you spent this time with me and that you spent some time on your self-care and mental health. That is also a strength. So if you couldn't think of anything else, at least write those two down. 1, I can ask for help. 2, I'm working on me. There's strength in these activities that deserves praise. I'm sure there's a lot more here that I haven't included, and your therapist or trusted mentor can help you develop it more. My clients and I continue to pursue this in therapy every day. My point was just to get you started thinking about a strengths focus, to help you evaluate yourself. And it definitely is my recommendation to make a list of your strengths every month to give yourself something positive, helpful, and hopefully healing to go forward with.